Kia ora and welcome to another episode of Rural New Zealand, proudly brought to you by Carffields. I'm your host Scotty Banff and join me as we check out what's happening throughout Canterbury. On this week's episode we check out the latest in fencing equipment. It's off to Canterbury Park for this year's National Alpaca Show. It's up the road to Parnassus to one of the entries of the South Island Farm of the Year. But first we meet the Carffields contracting team that's working in partnership with Meadow mushrooms.
So I'm Jeff Roberts and Operations Manager at Carffields Contracting. I've been with the company for a little over 2 years now, and with James Carr stepping aside and moving into a different operation of farming, I've taken over his role basically of Operations Manager of Carffields Contracting. So Carffields Contracting is an agricultural contracting business. We've been running for a little over 40 years now, founded by Greg. We do all different aspects of silage, from baled silage, chopped silage, straw and hay, and now also maize silage, and we also plant maize too.
And is there trucking elements to the contract?
Yep, we've got a transport operation of about 9 truck and trailer units, which involve from flat decks to drop-sided tippers to bulk tippers that we use to cart the compost out.
And what sort of areas do you cover?
We're predominantly between the Rakai and Rangitata River. We do venture out of the area a little bit, but mainly in those areas. We get up to about 25 staff during the peak of the season. The harvest period is our busiest time with baling straw. At the moment we're sort of about 10 to 12 staff, and we'll be up to 20 shortly with in the next few weeks for silage season, and then we dwindle off later on back to maize.
One of your major contracts must be supplying Meadow?
Yes, it is. Yep, we supply about 18 to 20,000 4x4 bales to Meadow mushrooms of wheat straw, which they use in their composting process to grow their mushrooms.
Once the straw bales get composted, the product travels up the road to Christchurch.
We're at Meadow Mushrooms. This company's been around since 1970. It had small beginnings where we were producing around 8 to 10 tonne a week, and now we're producing up to 190 tonnes every week here at Meadow Mushrooms. We're in Christchurch, and we're in a very new facility that's been built only just a few years ago, and produces some of our really high quality mushrooms. We are fully integrated, so we produce our own spawn all the way through to picking, dispatching out at the very end. So that process is really a 5 weeks period where you have a composting process and spawning process in terms of development of that, and then after that 5 weeks it gets filled into these rooms, and you have a 6-week process here in the growing rooms. Three flushes of mushrooms for that period of time. They're very fast growing, double in size every 24 hours, so we've got to keep on picking them.
How important is it having Carffields on board supplying the high quality straw and stuff?
The compost, which is the straw that Carffields supply us, is the heart of growing great mushrooms. It drives the activity and also holds the nutritional value and the water that's needed to grow great mushrooms. And so we need high quality straw, and we need a great compost to do that. And so it's highly important for us to have an excellent supplier who can deliver that for us.
Yeah. So is there good teamwork between Carffields and Meadow Mushrooms?
It's not just a supplier relationship, it's like a partnership. We have ongoing communication throughout the year. We talk regularly about the quality of the compost that's coming through, so the straw that's coming through, and therefore the compost that's coming through. And so we consider them a partner in our business, and it's been an excellent relationship, long-term relationship that we've had with them for many years. The other part of it is at the conclusion of the growing cycle, the 6-week growing cycle here in these growing rooms, this product that's in here is a waste product for us now, but it has still got a lot of organic material and nutritional value that's very useful for going back onto farms, onto land, for crop growing, for landscaping and gardeners. So Carffields has come to the party with us, and they now take this off-site and spread that onto farmers' land that will help in their organic matter in their soils and also provide us some nutritional value as well.
With summer just around the corner, the contracting team will be in full swing.
Yeah, it's certainly off to a busy start. There's a lot of grass growth around. With the reduction in cow numbers this year, there's certainly a lot of grass on dairy farms, so we're quite busy. It's an early season. We're probably 2 to 3 weeks ahead of where we'd normally be at this time of the year. I think we're quite a strong company. We've got a lot of good contracts with Meadows and good relationships and things like that. So yeah, I believe we've got a very strong future going forward.
Hopefully we get plenty of rain to keep Jeff and his harvesting team busy this summer. Alrighty, stay tuned, because after the break on Rural New Zealand, we're up to Parnassus where we meet one of the entries for the South Island Farm of the Year. See you guys then. Welcome back to Rural New Zealand. Now every now and then you meet a farm that has plenty of character, and Ferniehurst was one of those.
Ferniehurst is 1,800 hectares, probably about 1,300 effective, and there's also a lease block which is just down the road, which doesn't join the farm, of about 330 hectares, which is also part of the family.
Having skilled and knowledgeable staff must be helpful when managing the farm.
Been here for 5 years, and Derek Kapinga, who's he's probably been here for about 13. They're very important to the operation. Can't do it without them.
Yeah. And having that sort of 13 years knowledge, does that help you out with managing stuff?
Oh, it does. Yeah, he knows more of the nooks and crannies than I do. So it's invaluable. Yeah. The owner's very supportive. I'm the first manager to ever be here, I suppose. It's always been a owner-operator sort of run. So it's been a privilege, and also to sort of give me enough rope to run with or hang myself with. It's been a bit of an honour too, I suppose. Yeah.
With that extra length of rope, it has given John room to try new growing options for the sheep.
Running about 5,000 Romney ewes. Attempting to finish as many as possible, but obviously the last 2 years have been a bit tricky with the dry spell that we've been stuck with, but we've embraced the lucerne in quite a big way and put in 100 hectares over the last 2 years. It's been a game changer and probably helped us tremendously through the dry period. Yeah,
and you sort of see the lucerne as a major step forward for the farm?
Oh, huge. Yeah, huge. Destocking areas of the farm and getting these ewes and the little lambs onto the lucerne is, we're down on stock units already because of the dry. Would be down a lot more if we hadn't done this. And we've also been putting in brassica crops to mate the sheep on, which is been a huge benefit in lifting the scanning percentage of the ewes and also increasing that lambing percentage, and also making it a lot easier to get through the winter, which was always our sort of difficult period.
Yeah. Do you produce any sort of silage and hay and like?
We make a bit of baleage and hay. A lot of the baleage has been surplus lucerne that's beaten us in the spring, but no, we try to be an all grass or crop system without running the tractor around too much. I've been here for 5 years, and probably when I arrived we were consistently lambing 105% sort of thing, and we've lifted that to 140 now, which we've been doing for a couple of years, so that was one of the main sort of goals. And now the next thing is getting some lambs up to weight, or a good chunk of lambs up to weight to send to the works, which we are starting to do. We've got a very strong relationship with Silverfern Farms, going back quite a long way. So obviously we send all our beef and lamb to them, and we're also part of a supply group. So a very strong commitment to just one company, and relationships are a big part of our business.
To get to the cattle, we required the Conway River, which boundaries the south and west of the farm.
Well, we're running Angus and Angus Hereford cross cows. I don't want to bang on about the drought, but that's the sort of part of the operation that suffered. So we're probably down about 3,000 stock units, and they're all cattle really. So we're running at the moment about 130 cows and about 60 in-calf heifers. So we slowly look at building that back up over the next few years. We finish all these steers as 2-year-olds. which is good through Silverman Farms, and try and get them around that 300 kg carcass weight and try and fit them into one of the premium programs at the same time. Yeah, well, we've got a pretty close relationship with Tamania Angus, which is Richard's cousin. So that's pretty much the base of the genetics, and it's good genetics.
Yeah.
And that's been going on for before my era, and we'll continue to go down that road.
Yeah. And how do you think the cattle run on sort of land like this?
Oh, look, they're probably quite important here normally, and for pasture control and quality. So we'll definitely be looking to build back up the numbers to a sort of certain point.
Richard and his wife Catherine are very pleased with the hard work John has put into the farm.
We just really want the farm to progress, and we want to maintain a ewe flock, which he's getting to produce very well, and we would also like to maintain our cattle, which has been very difficult over the last couple of years with the drought, but maybe today we're starting to break out of it, so which is good. But having said that, we've learnt so much from a couple of dry years that we're going to come out of it far stronger and better, and probably ultimately it'll stand us in better stead. So, and a lot of it is due to John's diligence with the grazing and the feed options and learning about the nutrition. That lambing percentage has lifted considerably, which is very important, and the legumes, the lucernes, and he's got plans to try other ones on the hill and things. So, and it's got to be compatible with our native manukas and bush and stuff, which is very much part of Ferniehurst and the Wilding family at Ferniehurst. So.
One of the special features of the Ferniehurst farm is its native areas. Next to the homestead is one area that has been entirely fenced off to stock. This 60-acre block is home to some fantastic bird life, and it really felt like you'd stepped into the rugged west coast. With towering Kahikatea above us, it was a great example of what Canterbury bush would have looked like. With passion between the owners and manager, the future of the farm looks positive.
Well, I suppose farming's always a bit of a moving target, but I suppose our goals here are to keep increasing the livestock production, and probably trying to just get more out of what we've already got, I suppose. Better weights, and hopefully the people that buy our products off us can extract more value and pass it on to us. And that's where I see everything going. Whether or not it happens, I don't know.
Having the Conway River go round it does make it special. I mean, we've used it twice today to get to paddocks because the hill tracks are wet, so that's pretty special. The bush and farming's good fun. I mean, sheep work's hard work and it can take its toll, but it's a lovely place to live.
It's quite a unique environment with the bush, and it's not far from the closest town, which is Cheviot, or the main State Highway 1. But when you're standing here, it actually feels like you're in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, that's quite a special environment.
A big thanks to the team at Ferniehurst for showing us around your farm. Good luck for the competition. Alrighty, stay tuned on Rural New Zealand, because after the break we go to the National Alpaca Show and we check out the latest in staple gun technology for your fencing requirements. See you guys then. Welcome back to Rural New Zealand. Now, I heard great things about an event that was going on at Canterbury Park, so we got the Rural New Zealand team together and we decided to go check it out.
Today is a big occasion for us, or this weekend is. We have our National Expo Alpaca Show. This is held once a year, once in the South Island using Christchurch, and once in the North Island the following year. And that's where all New Zealand breeders get together and show their best examples off.
It must be cool to have sort of, the animals and then the end products all in one site as well. Yeah,
it's a good education for even alpaca owners to see, look at other people's animals, but also all the products that you'll see around the building of what you can do with alpaca fibre. and it just enlightens everybody that comes to the show.
And you're even showing some animals yourself. What have you sort of brought along to the show?
Yeah, we've been in the industry for about 17 years, so an old hand at showing. Today we've brought along about 26 animals, both breeds, the Surrey alpaca, which is the dreadlock version, and the Wakaya, which is like a sheep's fleece.
And are you hoping to clean up some awards?
Yeah, we've got a couple under the bag already, so a few more will be good, but we'll see how the day goes.
Yeah, it's been a fantastic event. It's probably our record-breaking breed and alpaca entries that we've got here. We've got 385 breed entries and 250 fleece. We've had a great group of volunteers and organising it all, and it's been full on, but yeah, the result is fabulous. At the end of the day, the biggest thing is getting their alpacas in here and judged, by an Australian, very well-renowned judge, and exhibitors are happy, and that's what we aim for.
After we grown the animals out, we then get them shorn once a year, and then we start turning those fleeces into product. So the first thing, all the fleece has got to be scoured, and then spun. Now that can be hand spun or commercially spun, and then from there we design garments, and we sell a lot of knitting yarn, so it's a big seller. And then you get into the commercial jerseys and blankets and duvets, so it's endless things that we can do with the alpaca fleece. But it's all a juggling act to know what you can do with it and what we can make. So you can make it from like work socks right through to dress socks and right through to the high-end market. But we think there's probably about 50 tonne roughly can be used in New Zealand at the moment. But there's not enough. We need more animals.
This is a fleece by a boy of ours called Valentino. We're thrilled he's won National Supreme this year. It was 21 microns, and they did grid testing on him, and he was 21 microns on all the areas.
So does that come down to good genetics, or is that breeding?
It is, what you're hoping for is genetic fineness, and that's what we're trying to breed for. The Alpaca Association has been going less than 20 years in New Zealand, and there's a lot of progress being made with the fleeces, and it's fantastic to see.
It was certainly cool checking out what they had at the Alpaca Show. Alrighty, now farmers and contractors, do you have any big fencing projects coming up? Because we've got just the tool for you.
Yes, I'm Steve Brown. I'm a fencing contractor in North Canterbury. Steve Brown Rural Contracting. We're based out in Oxford, but service everywhere from Carffields right through to Hampton Springs. And we've been fencing for a few years now in the district, mostly for lifestyle and farmers as such. So
yeah. And what kind of fences do you put up for clients?
Lifestyle is a lot of post and rail, sheep netting, and you've got the likes of equine fencing for horse setups, and then farmers, sheep netting like this one here, deer netting. Yeah, so we cover pretty much most rural fencing solutions.
Yeah. And there's a bit of a story behind this stockade gun, isn't there?
Yeah, the old stockade. So they've been trying to sell me one for quite a while now. And yeah, I was a bit sceptical about it at the start. There's a wee bit of an outlay to get the gun. The main thing was they kept on telling me that I'd be a lot quicker down a fence line with this gun. It has a 50mm barb staple on it, which is ideal really for keeping the netting up against the post for a long time. And yeah, so they brought it out and I had a bit of a demo with it. And I was quite impressed with it, but again I sort of thought that I'd be able to get down the fence line a bit quicker with the old hand doing it. So after having a staff member be on ACC for a while, I decided I'd get one because he usually did all the stapling, so I had to get back on it, so I thought I'll make myself a bit quicker. So we went and bought one, and I can't fold it at the moment, so as you saw before, we've stapled up about 100 metres of netting. Took me about 5 minutes or so to get up the line. You'd be tripling that if I was doing it by hand, so so can't fold it at the moment. It's pretty handy with especially this terrain, because it's really up and down. Having to hold the netting down or up, it's a really pain when you've got to do that with a hammer and staple. So when it's like this, I can just use my foot, and it's really simple. So makes life a lot easier and quicker. So the features I like about it, probably first of all, it can do a 50mm staple. A lot of fences will do 40mm because it's a little less you've got to hit in. Here you've got the energy on the battery, which is really handy. So the battery just clips in at the back. I can take a spare one with me if I'm on a really huge line. And that just slots in there like that. And then also your gas life, which if I push that wee button there, it shows me how much gas I've got left. So you get two gas canisters like this, and you just pop that out. So you get 2 of those per box of staples, about 1,000 staples, and that easily lasts the 2 and into the next box. So you're never running short on gas halfway down the line. So that's pretty, that's pretty good. It's not too bad on the weight. There's a wee bit of weight there, but I've got used to it over the last couple of months. The other feature that's quite handy, if you get really hard posts, like if I'm putting netting up on an old fence where the posts have been in for say 20 years and the posts are really hard, this thing here, you just whip out your little adjuster and adjust the tip, and that adjusts how far the staples go into the fence posts. So on a new post like this one here, I've pretty just left it stock as it came, and it's perfect. So pretty simple gun, and I think that's what I like about it, is that it's simple. I think when people start doing all this fancy stuff to it, that's more stuff that can go wrong. So what I've seen so far of it is not much has gone wrong, and so I'd rather keep it simple. And
Well, thanks for joining us today on Rural New Zealand, coming to you from the Kaipui Lakes. I certainly hope you enjoyed the show. Just remember to give us a like on Facebook, and if you're silly enough to miss an episode, you can watch it on demand. Catch you guys next week when we're down to Fairlie, where we meet one of the entries for the South Island Farm of the Year. See you guys then.